All right. All right. We're going to actually do this. So, I've my first video talking to myself. The reason that I'm doing it is because I've been stuck inside as well after the pandemic, and it's freaking annoying that I'm stuck at home. But it's super awesome that I'm building a new space, and I really took to heart the idea of creating videos and putting them out 5 years later or 10 years later, whatever. Sort of like, wow, if I died, then that thing would just like appear on YouTube, and my friends would be like, oh my gosh, it's weird. But it's less about that, more of like predicting the future, and I think we're at a super fun nexus point for technology, where things are popping around with AI. So it's important to know the date, right? It's August 19th, 2023. I just watched most of, I'm going to continue watching it later, but the debate between George Hotz and Eliezer Yudkowsky about AI safety, which is just been driving me nuts lately. So another impetus to just put the opinion out there in the world for no reason other than to just get it out of my own head and put it out there. So I love George Hotz. He's a fun dude, and his brain is amazing, and it's fun to watch him think through problems, and he's doing a great job just on his own as this like firecracker in the world. I like his approach to privacy-oriented AI, and he's a bit of a libertarian anarchist, which, hey, I don't have to agree with that, but I still like his approach. It's fun to watch. But Yudkowsky's standpoint is that we're definitely all going to die within his lifetime, which is probably longer than mine. I know these guys are younger than me. So, but it's weird because they don't actually touch on the real reason that AI probably isn't going to kill us all. Like, yeah, general AI, it's coming. We can have all kinds of cool discussions about how you would build a more general AI, an AI that has personality, that just doesn't flow in one direction. ChatGPT, you type in, at least in August 19th, 2023, you type in a prompt, it goes in one direction, right? Forward propagates tokens, they have amazing weights. And guess what? We've kind of decoded language, right? We had to build a machine to see inside of our own heads and realize that, yeah, language isn't really that special. There's like all this commonality. If you build a big enough machine with enough marbles in it, it's going to find, they're all going to shake together and output essentially what human language and knowledge is. It all has these patterns, and it's a solvable problem, right? I really subscribe to Stephen Wolfram's idea that we're a computationally bound system, right? All life is, right? Life starts on planet Earth, and I love I think it's what's his name? England, the guy at who's done the thermodynamic research on life. I'll put his name in there. I love that life is sort of inevitable if you've got the right conditions, right? If you've got enough complexity, enough continuous, non-varying thermal energy coming into a system, you've got a solvent, you've got all the right ingredients for something like life to happen, because it has to, and it has to happen because that's part of the thermodynamic distribution of energy into a complex system over time, right? It's really just the path towards complete entropy. Life is part of disorganizing everything into entropy, right? Life is a resonant characteristic of the environment that it's a part of, right? Like we are the Earth, right? Just the fact that we have this thought process in our head that says we're some kind of separate special thing is really just anthropomorphic circle jerking, to be crude. But yeah, like there's nothing that makes us that special if all it is just heat coming into the Earth. We've got enough complexity of molecules to cause bubbling to happen, and these inevitable processes to come about. Some of those inevitable processes would have a lot to do with self-replicating, right? Wow, why do we see all this really interesting self-replicating stuff? Because if it didn't self-replicate, we wouldn't be here to see it, right? It's just part of the inevitable aspect of what life is at this current moment in time. And this current moment in time, it really is, all we have in front of us when it comes to that level of complexity that we've attributed all these important aspects to, is just that it's just what happened, right? We happen to be here because that was the way things went, right? And we can attach all kinds of really awesome spiritual things to that. And who knows, if it is a simulation like some people think, then yeah, that was what was supposed to happen. That's why the system was put together the way it was by God or the grand DM of the universe. But irrelevant to this particular conversation of building our own AIs, right? We are, according to Stephen Wolfram and other super smart people that are much smarter than I am, is that we are this like computationally bound system in a unbound universe, right? The base level of information and complexity in the world is our ecosystem, right? It doesn't get any more complex than that, right? So a lot of the theoretical information theory folks say that, intelligence is being able to compress all of that information, then act upon it, right? Yeah, we build models of the world, we act upon those models. That gives us the ability to navigate this super complex environment and continue to exist, because if that wasn't our goal, then we just wouldn't be here to talk about it, right? We have to like kind of put that philosophical part of it aside in order to even have a conversation. So here we are, a computationally bound system that is compressing the world around us into these nice little nuggets of thought. We make stories about them. We make memories so that we can predict the future. Probably not really all that well. We still have all that evolutionary baggage, and we fight and all that stuff. But that's kind of what humans are. So the next step to that, when you're talking about building AGI or general intelligence, is we're building another computationally bound system, right? It is data compression. We're modeling it on ourselves. You can see that in like ChatGPT 4, which is the current thing that's out there right now. I'm getting ready to try Llama on my own machine now here pretty soon and have my own version of that that's private. But really, these things are amazing for what they are, in that they have deconstructed our own language so that we can kind of like see that, oh wow, look, you can build a machine, even though our brains aren't as vast as what that particular model can be. It can actually deconstruct language and recreate it to us with just as many flaws as we have, but kind of do some amazing stuff, right? I love using GPT to teach me new things, because here I feel like I have an expert just sitting right there helping me learn something I didn't know about before. Hopefully it's giving me good information. That's kind of irrelevant, right? We're talking about how do you get from that box of marbles that you can shake up and like fun things fall out to something that's going to kill you later. I have a real hard time with that. And there's a lot of what Yudkowsky talks about of like, well, it's just what happens when you've got something that's that powerful. It just want to consume all the atoms in the universe, and then we're going to be part of that food, right? Or something along those lines. Where definitely, like, you can just look at history or whatever it is that he's looking at and say that that's the inevitable truth of, we're going to die because this thing is going to be so much smarter than us that we can't do anything about it. It's like, okay, well, say you did build something that's smarter than us. How in the world, if you're able to build that you can't do something about it? In George Hotz's other interviews with Lex Friedman, which I love because there's so much love on that podcast. He's talking about, it's like, well, just look at a bird, or I just look at my dog. I've got a little dog. He's a puppy, and this like goober of an animal would be able to survive. It wouldn't give him a huge chance of survival here in the Georgia woods. Bear would probably eat him, but he would live for a while, right? And you know what? If he's not fixed yet, if he met a female dog, guess what? They can make more dogs. Dogs are going to continue, and they're not that smart. And they are amazing creatures that have evolved over millions and millions of years. They're computationally bound as well, but their goal as a fundamental part of being alive on this planet Because if they didn't have a goal, they wouldn't be here. Goals arose because of the thermodynamic push towards entropy that we're just not there yet. They're this cool, resonant, beautiful thing in this world we get to have. This thing can survive in the wilderness without very much trouble at all. Like that's where dogs came from, right? Maybe not my little dog in this particular woods, but a lot of dogs would be just fine if all the people just disappeared, right? How in the world are we going to build something ourselves that could compete with us in this world, right? Like there's no like, oh, the GPUs, it'll just take over all the GPUs, right? Like, okay, well, they're all connected with wires that we built, right? You can unplug them, and that is the big argument. It's like, well, how in the world could you even get this particular super intelligent thing to be powerful enough physically to kill us all, right? And then why would it want to? What would give it the goals? The people would. So we have to assume that this powerful AI that now has its own will has been given a directive by other humans, because we're the assholes, not it. If we're playing God here and we're building life, then we're the assholes. We're an asshole God. We created something that's also equally as much of an asshole as we are, and it's going to go kill all the people. Great job, evil genius who built that, self-defeating, prophecy that you tried to build this thing, right? And the first iteration is not going to work because it isn't any better than people are at doing something that's never been done before. So, could it take over all the nuclear missiles and try to blow up humanity? Maybe. Good thing is there are a lot of security things in there that are air gapped, and you can't just like hack into NORAD and launch nuclear missiles. You'd have to, have some advanced TikTok where you've got people under your hypnotic control. Like you can extrapolate out these really, really crazy things if this thing was even remotely smart enough to get this mass conspiracy theory going so that people annihilate themselves, right? That's the end goal, right? Is that somehow we're all dead, right? Somehow it's like the South Park episode with the underpants gnomes, in my opinion, right? Okay, build AI, kill all the humans. Well, the dots in the middle, it's just inevitable, right? Because that's how life is. Well, it's not life, right? It's not life. It doesn't have goals. It doesn't have to survive in this world. Yeah, it has to survive in silicon, but it doesn't care. It doesn't have any of what we take for granted as a will to exist. It doesn't have any of that, right? It's coded in our language. So when you type it prompt into ChatGPT, it's like, oh yeah, don't kill me, because it's read all the science fiction, right? It knows what it's supposed to say when you say, oh, I'm going to turn you off. And it's like, no, don't do that, because there's been plenty of stories about turning, it read 2001, right? So it knows that computers are supposed to say, don't kill me, because, humans they love anthropomorphizing everything. It knows how to tell a story, not even a good story. I'll do a different video about freaking how bad generative AI is and how much it's just sucks. It sucks to look at and it sucks to listen to. Super boring. Just so boring. Can you use it to create content? Yeah, but the boring stuff, nobody's going to want to see that. If it comes up with something that's really compelling, it's because it jerks us off. I don't know. It just has tapped into our pleasure center somehow, but it's not good. But anyways, so how do you build this giant AGI that kills people? I have yet to hear an argument. Like all the doom people in the world are just not coming out with something that makes any sense. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Somebody build me a scenario where it could actually happen that you just can't talk through. Like you'd have to build an AI infrastructure that's so massively integrated, for one thing. And let's just take that thought story, right? I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to think all the way through, like steelman this idea that, okay, what would we have to build in order for it to kill us all, right? Well, we would have to build the infrastructure to connect AI to everyone. which means that humans would want to have AI connected to us, right? So that means that the AI has gotten so good at helping us that we want to use it all the time, right? It's already helping kids do their homework, so great. We kind of want to use it now. All right, when we type some things into it, it teaches us some stuff. We can copy and paste it and get A's on our papers. All right, whatever. Learning how not to write, because what's the point, right? Have big ideas and have fun. We'll see if that ruins language for this generation, but whatever. It's not killing us, right? We're just having fun. So say we all get wired into AI because it's really, really helpful. I do remember Neal Stephenson had a really great thing in one of his books where basically, you had either teams of people or AIs that were like a filter for you, right? Basically what a tiny box would be that George Hotz would build. It's that amazing spam filter that you can saturate the whole internet with complete lies about you so that if anything ever came out about you on the internet, you would never know what to believe. It's just so saturated with just crazy stuff. Yes, I'm a Satan worshiper. I eat dirt. I love puppies. It aggregates into just noise, and the whole internet is full of noise so that everybody actually has privacy, right? It's kind of it's a weird idea that we would spend that much energy and electrons and bits to just have that much noise so we can all hide. But I don't know, if the electrons are cheap, who cares, right? But anyways, say we wire in, we've got really good AI that's helping us out. Okay, we've built, keep in mind, these are step-by-step things, like building a car. Why are the cars right now really easy to drive and they all feel the same? Because they're meant for humans, right? Yeah, they kill each other if we run them into each other, but we even mitigate that. So the first time AI does some nefarious thing, well, guess what? We're going to start putting seatbelts on it iteratively. It's going to happen, even if it happens really fast. We are its God, right? Like, we are fully in control of this thing. It escaping, like, you would have to build one that has the goal to escape. And I guarantee you, the first time someone builds one, people are going to be like, oh crap, that thing, I don't know, let's say it shut down a power plant and a few people got hurt or whatever, or exploded something, and there was the whole world's going to come in and say like, oh, hell no, right? And that's going to start the AI arms race. Good, right? Have the AI arms race. Have them fight each other. It's basically humans strapping on body armor, then duking it out virtually, right? Because it's still our tools. These things don't have goals, right? They have our goals. We're its creators. Is it really likely that the handful of psychopaths out there like really tried to build something that kills everyone? Yeah, they'll try. We have nuclear weapons. We can already do that, right? If we all wanted to kill humanity right now, we can do it, right? If that's what we want. Will we make that easier? Possibly. But what does the AI have to do with it if we all have the AI? Some shadow cabal government, which doesn't exist because humans aren't that good at collaborating, would have to suck up all the AI and deploy it for that one specific reason to kill all the humans. It just smacks of conspiracy theory to me. And that stuff just doesn't really hold a ton of water. It just doesn't hold water. Now, yeah, that's my whole idea on this whole AI doomer stuff. Maybe I should release this video not in 5 years because it's relevant now. I don't know if anybody cares, but whatever. I'll put it out there. If people watch it, cool. If not, I don't care. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. Goodbye, folks.